One of the more fulfilling tasks that I had to accomplish during my career as a lawyer is having acted as a mediator in a commercial dispute. I mean, we do that routinely because mediation is sort of like a carbon neutral, cost effective way of sometimes resolving a dispute where both parties know there is too much to lose and there might be not much point going into litigation proceedings and something more serious like that. Now, in my case, I was sort of caught in between two parties. I was representing the joint venture entity between an Emirati group that had provided land for an industrial facility and also was a 51% shareholder in the company, along with a US partner that obviously had done joint ventures all over the world and were very experienced partners. So they ended up having a fallout about a particular situation surrounding the land and surrounding certain dividends and profit sharing ratios that they had originally agreed in the agreement. So we sat down to mediate, and mediation is a process that is recognized in the UAE. There is a law that was passed in 2021, the UAE mediation law, and even prior to that, mediation has been used in many cases. Even if you go to the DIFC courts, or the UAE now has a special platform called Wasata that encourages you to go to mediation. So anyway, back to my story. We ended up in a situation where both parties knew they had quite a lot to lose and they did want to agree, and the US company was very, very keen on ensuring that its Middle East facility, which was obviously based here in the UAE, was profitable and they didn't end up in some sort of dispute. Anyway, long story short, it didn't really work. We agreed a lot of principles, we drafted a settlement agreement, but there were still some issues that were not quite right as a result of the mediation, and mediation is not binding on any of the parties because they can always go into the dispute and the dispute resolution clause, as per their contract. So off they went their own ways, and 2-3 months later, what was most gratifying and fulfilling is we had set out a bunch of deliverables as part of the settlement agreement post-mediation. And they both came back to the table and they both said, look, let's agree a middle ground because we've gone away for 3 months. We've realized that our situation is not improving. And this has been a good forum and for us to be open with each other and have a very sort of calm and useful commercial conversation around the issues we had. So, sometimes you put your settlement away in a drawer and 3 months later, it might work. It might work very well. And 20 years later or 30 years later, ventures who have taken a commercial call to settle their disputes in this manner have gone ahead to be a huge success.